mean, if you've been on Twitter for any amount of time, then you know the second that people stop putting up with their bullshit, the activists cave almost instantly.
Twitter? Side-eyeing you. You probably don't go outside.
They have to protest like this because nobody agrees with them.
This is an anti-genocide protest. Did you realize the B-roll footage that you were putting on the screen when you said none of us would agree with them?
Every time someone on the left opens their mouth right now, I am this close to becoming a Republican.
This person is a Trump supporter.
We can't celebrate Cinco de Mayo if we voted for Trump.
He found a video. He said, yes, this confirms my bias, just so that he could bitch about all people on the left.
Categories, what it describes is the different levels of privilege you have based on how fat you are.
Don't pretend that this is all people on the fucking left. All these people will criticize the mainstream media for sensationalization, and then they will engage in.
Then they'll follow these types of arguments up with a classy platitude about how they don't like racism or sexism.
You just ever get bored of what you do? We have an administration, MAGA, who still is not criticizing the president for probably f***ing kids. But the radicals are people who glue their hands to grocery store cabinets and say dumb shit about being fat. I think this guy's cringe. At least he's outside. Alright guys, let's just watch, think before you complain. I don't know, somebody sent this to me. Kind of chilling. You know, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Let's talk about this. Looks interesting, I guess. Let's watch it, dude.
I'm super glued here to Trader Joe's. I'm asking Trader Joe's to stop selling.
I don't think he's super glued to the Trader Joe's. I think he's lying. There's no way that this is super glued. He's just holding on to it. That's it.
Produce peddling my poultry. It's not profiting off of suffering.
Chickens deserve medical attention!
They do get medical attention. Then we eat them.
Tell me you've never taken care of chickens before without telling me you've never taken care of chickens.
Have you taken care of chickens?
Chickens are...
You seem like you've taken care of a nice cock. That's a gay joke.
Huge assholes to each other, and taking them to the chicken doctor isn't going to make them any nicer.
I don't understand your response. The chicken doctor? I don't think you've ever taken care of any chickens before either.
Also, I hope that glue was vegan. They checked that, right?
I guess.
But in the latest season of the most annoying people on the internet, we have activists displaying their fetish for pasting themselves to shit in public.
Okay, I guess.
You have people gluing themselves to expensive cars.
Is this not like old as fuck?
Or there are people who are more direct and like gluing themselves to the road. And for some reason, they keep getting rescued from this self-inflicted problem. I don't know why they're setting the Trader Joe's guy free. Just leave him there.
Well, I think if he dies on the floor, that's probably not very good. So, gotta get him out of there.
That arm's going to get super uncomfortable from being in that position after about 30 minutes. In fact,
True.
Let's try a little social experiment.
Okay.
Let's see how long it takes for this guy to get hungry enough to try raw chicken. Because the implication
That's not good for you, I think, isn't it?
of their protest is like daring you to not feel sorry for them when they do.
This is fucking crazy. This is like ridiculous. Hey, inappropriate. Okay.
When they do retarded stuff.
Whoa!
Threatening you with being annoying if you don't unstick them. But if you want this to stop, then the answer is to call their bluff.
What does that mean? Just like let them starve?
I mean, if you've been on Twitter for any amount of time, then you know the second that people stop putting up with their bullshit, the activists cave almost instantly.
I don't know what that means. Twitter? I don't know. I don't really like it when people reference Twitter. I find, here's my thing. Here's the thing, and I'm going to make a little bit of a generalization. I find people who consume Twitter content to be insanely fucking cringe. And I think it's because people on Twitter, and this happens across social media platforms, but I feel like Twitter is the worst. It's the most terminally online platform, and it encourages the most, conversation with each other in the least productive way. But like Twitter is like such brain rot, and I find that there's so many people who sit on Twitter, and it very quickly comes to you where you're just seeing the worst of the worst of the world, and you're seeing the worst of the world that you want to see, so that it can just confirm whatever bias that you feel. Right, so like if you're somebody who's like super anti SJW, or maybe you're a little racist or something, all you're going to see is like anti SJW shit and racist shit. Like that's it. Like if you don't like black people, you're just going to see black people doing bad things on there, and it's going to make you hate black people more. Right, and on the flip side, I'm sure that there's people who hate white people, and they see a bunch of bad things that white people do, and they just hate white people more. And so like when people are just like, I found this on Twitter, anytime a content creator uses Twitter to make content, I am instantaneously like side-eyeing you. There's something very terminally online about you. You probably don't go outside. You know what I mean? To like Twitter, like TikTok is the TikTok, Instagram, even Facebook. These are the things that normal people will browse through. But Twitter is like I deleted Twitter. Like I uninstalled it from my phone because of how toxic the algorithm. The algorithm was just like all violence. My algorithm on TikTok is like some memes and some dogs and stuff that I send to my wife and babies. Instagram, edgy memes, funny to me, and then like Facebook is like weight training stuff. So it's interesting where Twitter goes to me. It's fucking weird.
Here's one of my favorite moments from some people who think it's a good idea to block the road.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's how cops should deal with it. They should take them off the road.
Don't move! We have no weapons at all! We're environmental protesters!
It's fucking crazy.
This has all the self-awareness of someone sucker punching you in the face, followed by them crying when you strike back.
I guess.
You're not being peaceful. You're trying to force people into your ideology by being a public nuisance.
Yeah, I guess that is what they do. Yeah.
So don't be shocked when those who are unhappy with your bullying tactics try to move you out of the way.
Okay.
The funny thing here is that it looks like this sign says private jets, so they're protesting fossil fuels as they force this whole line of people to sit there, probably with their cars running if it's hot outside, for God knows how long. The environmentalist groups aren't sending their best.
Women did not get the vote by voting.
I guess men voted for them to have the right to vote, so you're...
Well, I think that their point that they're making is that women had to be activists and sometimes maybe be violent or something to get equal rights.
welcome?
It is time for deeds and not words. It is time to just stop oil.
Do these
I don't really know what oil has to do with women, but okay.
people realize how many will die if the world stopped using oil tomorrow? Or
Well, I don't think that that's their goal. I think their goal is to slowly shift away from the utilization of fossil fuels and try to be a little bit greener, you know, especially since oil, I mean, which is something we should do, especially if anything else, to remove power from oil companies that have been fucking us, like, you know, just consistently. That's a huge issue. You know, I know what everything that's going on in Iran right now. You know, for how many decades have we been there with fossil fuel companies have been there just taking their shit, just taking oil from them. You know, they want to privatize their oil to get it away from American imperialism, which could create abundance for their country, and abundance we know creates better rights for the country. So I'll tell you, like I said, like religion is not what created equal rights in America. Okay, what created equal rights in America was financial abundance to the point where people didn't need as much of the cope, and they were like, you know what, I can spend outside of my bubble because I can worry about people outside of myself because I have financial abundance. So that's really how you get progressivism.
our whole economy is based on oil. The great thing is that when these activists spread their luxury beliefs, it's the poor, who they pretend to advocate for, that suffer the most.
Why would the poor suffer the most from just fundamentally trying to reduce fossil fuel emissions? If anything, poor people benefit or are hit the hardest from like climate change, right? Like climate change makes the climate kind of go up and down, creates more storms, creates issues of hotter temperatures, colder temperatures. People with money can have air conditioners and heat and insulation on their pipes, and, you know, pipes that are less prone to bursting, like PVC pipes and things like that. Poor people will be the first ones that'll have to deal with all these negative impacts, right? Which could, you know, harm people. So,
But I think people are missing some context here for why the activists protest like this. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say it's because they're mentally ill, and
well, no, I'm going to say it's because they're looking for like attention. They think they're doing the right thing, but maybe they're misguided in the way that they're expressing themselves because they're probably not. They're probably like financially, you know, well off, out of touch, upper middle class people, or kids of upper middle class people.
yes, that is a part of it. Mentally ill people are those who refuse to accept reality on reality's terms.
That's totally fair. Here's the one question I'm going to ask you right now. We're going to go find out. Where's your video about January 6th? You know, this is one of the problems I have, especially with this guy, is it's so selective what they talk about, you know, but if you're going to sit here and talk about people who can't accept reality or whatever, like where's your shit against people in trying to insurrect the government? Like, why is it that you'll talk about fucking cringe climate activists, but you're not going to talk about like more serious topics where people won't engage with the reality of the world? That's the thing that gets me.
Which is why they can be so easily tricked into believing numerous falsehoods, and why they're
It's the entire Trump administration.
too blind to see how the way they protest is actually hurting their cause.
Okay.
So that's part one.
Okay.
The second part of this is that people in general have the psychological need to feel like they've contributed to their respective communities,
Yes.
but these people don't know how to do that usefully because they're too lazy and too incompetent from an educational standpoint to research and fact check stuff, despite having college degrees.
So what do you think that they should do to try to reduce like climate change? Because the voting thing didn't work. We have a president rolling back climate protections. That's not good. So what are they supposed to do?
So they'll just
The same people that believe that dinosaurs aren't real and that they're like it's a magical apple curse, and that I guess pedophilia is good now. These is what they believe because they won't punish Trump for being in the Epstein files and hiding the client list. Like, these are the same people running our government. Like, I don't understand.
Just shit everywhere and say, look, I'm helping, as they piss off everyone who has to clean up after them. And last, but certainly not least, because I read, I know that the activists are primarily following the tactics of an old book called Rules for Radicals.
Oh my God.
Now, there's a lot of stuff in this book, but when it comes to protesting, the basic strategy is to go into a high-trust society and do whatever you can to violate the cultural norms, or just in general, be as much of a pain in the ass as possible.
Yeah, yes. Now, what have you got, I asked? What do they permit you to do? Practically nothing, they said, except, we can chew gum. I said, fine, gum becomes the weapon. You get 200 or 300 students to get 2 packs of gum each, which is quite a wad, and then you have them drop it on campus walks. This will cause chaos. So it sounds like they're saying that you should just be like a nuisance. Yeah, sure, okay.
Can't violate the cultural norms, or just in general, be as much of a pain in the ass as possible.
But about 2 weeks later, I got a static letter saying it worked. It worked. Now we can do just about anything so long as we don't chew gum. Got it. The threat is often more effective than the tactic. Got it. Okay.
As a form of protest. It's basically the political version of what those nuisance streamers are doing in Japan to get attention.
Well, they're doing it for attention. They're doing it for money and attention. At least the activists, even if they might be misguided, are doing it to try to change the world in a way that they feel is positive.
The hope is that the people in the high-trust society will put up with bullying tactics out of politeness and concede to the demands of the activist. And this was probably a very effective tactic before Elon bought Twitter.
Okay. The Elon Musk glaze, we love it.
And when it was much easier to lie to everyone to manage the bad PR that's a result of this type of protesting.
What do you mean? I don't even know. I don't know how to contend with something that I don't think anybody could prove. It's bad PR. What they were using Twitter to negate bad PR. I don't understand I truthfully don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what that means.
It was much easier to lie to everyone to manage the bad PR that's a result of this type of protesting.
I don't know what that means. What type of protesting? Nobody has ever liked people who block the road or who glue themselves at fucking Trader Joe's. I don't understand what you're talking about. Are you saying that before Elon bought Twitter, we were all like, oh my God, I love these people? I don't get it.
But now that we're in the post-Elon buying Twitter times, the correct answer is to just make an example of these people and try to make them suffer 10 times more than they're trying to make you suffer, because then they'll stop doing it. What? They only do this stuff because people aren't fighting back. And by the way, just to be clear,
what should they do to fight back?
They have to protest like this because nobody agrees with them.
This is an anti-genocide protest, just to be clear. Did you realize the B-roll footage that you were putting on the screen when you said none of us would agree with them? I think blocking traffic is cringe, but this is an anti-Palestinian genocide protest, and I feel like we should not be genociding Palestinians. I don't know. This seems a little tough, bud. This seems like a little bit of a tough one. This is tough for you. I don't know what to tell you, but okay.
They are completely tone deaf to how many people on their own political side don't like them.
I don't know. Okay.
I'm not even a Republican, but every time someone on the left opens their mouth right now, I am this close. I am this close to becoming a Republican.
Damn, she looks like I just want to see something. All right, so this video that she has here is from 6/28 from 2025. This one's from 5/4. Let's just see if she's a...
The left's new shtick.
Oh, God. So she's a Republican.
Time someone on the left opens their...
on their own political side, don't like them.
I'm not even a Republican.
Okay, so this person is very clearly a Republican. I just wanted you guys to understand why. I'm doing this for a reason. There's this really weird virtue signal from conservatives where they go, I'm not even a conservative. But then they're like the most conservative person you've ever seen in your entire life. I'm not even a conservative. If you call somebody the left, you're conservative. Okay? I don't understand. This is a Trump supporter, right? What are we talking about? Listen to more of this.
This new shtick is now we can't celebrate Cinco de Mayo if we voted for Trump.
You voted for Trump. You're a Trump supporter. And that's fine. Why lie about it? This is some kind of weird morality porn for other weird people online. Oh, see, they're not even on the left. They're not even on the right. This person is a Trump supporter, and like whatever, you do you. If you want to engage in mental illness, that's fine. But like, why do you need to lie about it? What are you doing?
But every time someone on the left opens their mouth right now, like, I am this close to becoming a Republican.
She is a Republican. She voted Trump before she even made this. I'm curious about what the whole video is.
Republican. But every time someone on the left opens their mouth right now, like, I am this close to becoming a Republican. When I hear the words, no human is illegal, coming from a group of people that more than likely own fucking passports, like, I'm this close to putting a MAGA hat in my cart. Like,
you're already a Republican. And like, again, we obviously need to have borders and boundaries, and we need to have citizens, so I think it's misguided to say something like that, but I do not think that we should be engaging in terror campaigns, even on illegal immigrants. We shouldn't be dehumanizing them, calling them like rapists and all this. They're trying to come here for a better life. I understand we can't really let them do that, but that's where I come from. Don't dehumanize people. But like, you are a Republican.
I am trying to be reasonable, okay?
No, you're not.
I am trying. I have very leftist views, okay?
I don't think that that's true. You voted for Trump.
I don't like guns. I believe in trans rights. I believe that if you're a consenting adult, you can do whatever the hell you want to with your body.
I guess that's not a high enough on the priority list for you to sway against voting Trump, but okay.
But when you start replacing words like mother with birth giver, and you see people like Gavin Newsom...
That's a literal nothing burger. Listen, I get it. It's cringe. Nobody cares. This isn't real. It's not a real thing. And it's for insurance purposes. You put that inside of language so that trans people can get, or like a fucking healthcare if they have a kid. Like birth giver. Yeah, a trans man with a kid, they shouldn't be denied coverage, right? I accept trans people, but what the fuck's with all this trans shit? Like, it's like, okay. Like, if that's what toppled you, if that's what made you vote Trump, if trans issues made you vote Trump, you're fucking stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Trans issues are not like an issue. There's nothing happening. Trans people, it's just like this magical little like non-existent shadow boxing. It's not a real problem. Trans women in sports maybe is a little bit of an issue. Not even close to any meaningful real issues that are going on. It's insane. When you have time to focus on non-issues, you're probably a spoiled brat or somebody stupid and susceptible to misinformation campaigns.
Calling his own wife the first partner of California, like, I can...
Who cares? That triggered you? That Gavin Newsom called his wife the first partner of California?
Feel my soul applying for an NRA membership.
Why are those things so triggering to you? I don't understand. Why do you care? What?
Like, I have traditionally leftist views.
No, you don't.
Okay? I recycle. I
recycle.
Believe in clean energy. I believe in healthcare for all.
But then you voted for the party that doesn't do those things.
I understand and acknowledge that racism is alive and well in America today, but when
this is all a virtue signal.
I ask for something as simple as border security and you start throwing out words like racist and fascist and bigot and authoritarian, I start Googling where to buy a fucking F-250. And
whoa.
I don't even like trucks. I hate trucks. I would never drive a truck. But the way you guys are acting is literally making me want to do something so cringe, like fly a giant American flag off of my front porch.
Why is that cringe? I don't understand. Okay. The American flag is now cringe, I guess.
And don't even get me started on 4th of July. Oh my God. Every time that a leftist says that they're not celebrating 4th of July or that 4th of July is canceled, I promise you another piece of American flag clothing gets put in my cart. I mean,
why? Why is it triggering to you that some people don't? I love 4th of July. Why is that triggering to you?
I mean, maybe at this point I should thank you for reviving my patriotism, because every time you open your mouth, I become more and more of a patriot for this country.
I wish God would let me use fucking slurs. Holy fuck. That was actually insufferable, but okay.
When I hear the words, no human is illegal, coming from a group of people that more than likely own fucking passports, like, I'm this close to putting a MAGA hat in my cart. I have very...
Chat, did I fuck up? I think we're going to skip through. We just watched the whole thing ourselves, and then he played the whole thing. Kind of an L on my part. Sorry.
Blame her for one. She's wearing...
Because every time you open your mouth, I become more and more of a patriot for this country.
She's wearing the woke uniform, and she's like, nah, these guys are too woke for me.
She's wearing the woke... She's a Trump supporter pretending to be on the left. Okay.
I'm out. I'm going to go cleanse myself with an AR-15 and an American flag. I mean, I don't blame her. For one, deporting illegal...
I just want you guys to just understand that, like, we live in an information era, but the threshold for research is on the floor. I looked up her account, found the month and the day that she posted that video, and then just looked before it to see other things that she posted, and we found out that she was a Trump supporter before she made this weird "I'm not a Trump supporter" video. Think before you sleep will not do that. He found, this is so indicative of the reality. He found a video on Twitter that was a person saying they were on the left, saying the left was cringe, and he said, yes, this confirms my bias. I will not fact check and find out very easily that she is a conservative, just so that he could make something and like bitch about her, like a bitch about all people on the left. Like that's the whole reason that he did all of that, just to be clear.
And border security has always been something that both parties agree on.
Sure,
the recent political disagreement on this is artificial.
Well, no. So just to be clear again, and I think you guys need to understand this, like during the Biden administration, conservatives pushed a border bill that would have put more money and expedited the process for asylum seekers, and had bipartisan support, and Trump told conservatives to shut down their own bill because he wanted to run on the border issue. Just to be absolutely clear. The increased amount of border interactions during Biden's administration was because of COVID backlog people they were trying to come in. Like you guys are pretending you're making it up. Trump isn't just saying we need to get rid of illegal immigrants. He's calling them rapists and dog eaters. Like that is like he's villainizing them. And most people don't hate illegal immigrants. They just don't think they should be here. Trump is hating illegal immigrants. So now people are like, oh, I don't like that because they're human beings. And we're supposed to be a nation of God, no? Jesus, the guy that's like, hey, I love people. Yes, now we don't.
I'm old enough to remember when amnesty for illegals was a very unpopular right-wing grift from George Bush Jr.
Why is it a grift?
But also, it's got to be frustrating as a liberal to watch the most...
Why is it a grift? The idea is that... Like, I don't understand why it's a grift. I don't think that these people understand anything that they talk about. Because, like, if you want to call it a grift, explain yourself. If your argument is like, a bunch of conservatives want cheap labor for businesses, maybe at least explain yourself. But like realistically speaking, like there's a level of dependence we have onto illegal immigrants because they come here and they do jobs that Americans don't want to do. That's just a fact. I don't know what else to tell you. And mass exporting them will be bad for our economy because there's a bunch of people that are working and they're pushing money through the economy. Right? If you take away all these jobs and the money that they take and they spending money in the economy keeps the economy healthy. You get rid of a bunch of people who are spending money on food. You're getting rid of cashiers at food places. You're getting rid of truck drivers. You're getting rid of people in the entire infrastructure chain. So, like, what is the grift? There are negatives, right? It could lower the pay for some jobs, absolutely. But a lot of times, again, they're coming here doing jobs that Americans don't want to do because they're lazy. Explain yourself. I think that you guys have to be tired of accepting people saying things without explaining themselves. That is such a big issue. Stop letting people just say things without explaining themselves. It's fucking lazy. It's actually insane.
Bad faith influencers represent your values.
Hey guys, we got to talk about ICE.
Right now, ICE agents are
violently detaining, searching,
and arresting our neighbors at alarming rates.
I mean, that is true.
Resistance to the enforcement of this administration's
white supremacist police state
is being met with lethal force by...
They just killed 2 white people, so I'm scared now.
unqualified individuals.
That is 100% true. These people are unqualified. Like, you know that there was like a whistleblower who was talking about, who was in ICE, and they were talking about, I think he was an ICE operator's directive. I don't remember exactly what he was, but he was talking about how they're trying to get you through the process of training faster by not teaching you aspects of the Constitution and de-escalation protocols. This has already been found out, and this has already been established. We have this here, literally. Like,
on my first day, I received secretive orders to teach new cadets to violate the Constitution by entering homes without a judicial warrant for the last 5 months.
Yeah, there's a whole hearing about it. You can go look it up yourself and watch it. But we could see it live. When it came to Renee Good, ICE officers are taught not to stand in front of vehicles because it creates a hazard for themselves. This guy stood in front of a vehicle. Renee Good was trying to turn and drive away, and he shot her. Instead of getting out of the way first, he pulled his gun first and shot her, creating a missile, an unguided, undirected, uncontrolled missile. That was the vehicle, right? Alex Preddy, he had a legal firearm. He was beaten to the ground. The gun was taken, and then they shot him. They killed him, even though 6 people had restrained him. They are not, like, what they're saying is verifiably a fact, and you're just like, yeah, this is wrong. Why? Because they have weird glasses that make them look gay? Okay.
To disregard the law and human dignity.
Linda Davis.
Keith Porter Jr. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez.
Isaiah Sanchez Barbosa.
Renee Good and Alex Pretty
are unfortunately just a few of ICE's victims.
I'm guessing none of these
Yes, I knew it. I was like, which one is he gonna isolate and call a bad guy?
liars think you'll actually Google the names.
Well, I already know about Alex Preddy. So.
Linda Davis was not a victim of ICE. She was killed by an illegal alien who was fleeing from officers that were trying to detain him.
Okay. Yeah, seems like when it comes to Linda Davis specifically, they were trying to detain this guy, and he ran a red light and ended up killing her. Sure, yeah.
Google the names.
I think that their argument's going to be, I mean, I wouldn't have even bothered bringing her up in this one. It makes no sense, frankly. But their argument's going to be like, oh, ICE is using escalatory tactics, and they're not arresting people correctly, and they're putting people's lives in danger. But there might be a level of truth to that one. But this one I just would not have included in their list. What about the other ones, though?
Linda Davis was not a victim of ICE. She was killed by an illegal alien who was fleeing.
Oh, is that part of it? Is it part of it that they engaged in a reckless pursuit? Well, maybe. Let's see. DHS said during the operation, officers observed Velasquez enter a vehicle, and the agency said they attempted to traffic stop. The agent said Velasquez initially stopped, complied, but then fled the scene, making a reckless U-turn and running a red light before colliding with the vehicle. I don't know. If you want to show me something where the ICE agent engaged in a reckless pursuit, maybe. Yeah, I guess some people are calling it a reckless pursuit. I don't really know. I mean, considering the way that they're engaging with other people, ICE is using reckless tactics or not being trained particularly well. You probably have an argument that it was reckless. But again, I wouldn't have gone with this one specifically. I don't think it's strong enough to exist by itself.
Fleeing from officers that were trying to detain him. Yet another death of an American that could have been prevented by better border security.
Sure.
Keith Porter Jr. was some...
I mean, I think we agree if ICE handled it better.
retard who was firing a rifle into the air of a populated area, which can kill people, by the way.
Is that what he's doing? Family of a man killed off by ICE. Oh, by off-duty ICE agent in L.A. Demands charges. Okay, interesting. So apparently the story is he was shooting off rounds. An off-duty ICE officer killed him, but his family's arguing he was just, I don't know, having a good time with something else. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't have included this one in there. I just hope that Think Before You Sleep acknowledges like the other ones too.
When the bullets come back down, and allegedly he was unalived as he pointed his rifle at an off-duty ICE officer who I guess was a better shot.
I guess, or they could be lying. We don't really know because there's no footage. Witnesses said Porter was firing a rifle into the air in celebration of the new year. The agency said the officer who lived in the same complex as Porter responded to an active shooter situation. He just said Porter didn't comply with orders to put down the weapon and fired 3 rounds at the agent. Okay, well, interesting.
Isaiah Sanchez Barbosa was a part of an illegal alien caravan and was shot as he was...
Well, what does an illegal caravan mean?
Was resisting border enforcement.
Why is that a reason to shoot him? While conducting enforcement operations along the Rio Grande, a Customs Border Patrol shot and killed a 31-year-old Mexican national who had just crossed the border with a group of people. The officer engaged in an active struggle with the man for 2 minutes and ultimately discharged. Oh, okay, interesting. I mean, I don't think that he probably wasn't like a gang member. He was probably somebody trying to get into America. Okay. Okay, so this is the context of this guy. He was shot while trying to flee ICE. Apparently he was here for 20 years. He lived with his girlfriend and his 13-year-old or her 13-year-old daughter. Okay. He had 4 violations that were all like speeding, not having insurance, and not having a correct, I guess, child restraint seat. Okay. 2013 was the most recent, so over a decade ago. Okay. Why are we going after somebody like this? I'm so confused. ICs were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Franklin Park where Gonzalez reportedly resisted arrest and attempted to flee. Wait, what does this have to do with this? Is this not... maybe I'm looking at the wrong person. Oh, I'm looking at somebody different. I'm looking at Silverio Gonzalez. Okay, I thought this was the same fucking person. So many Hispanic names. So anyway, it seems like why are we going after this guy who's fucking here for 20 years? But anyway, okay. There's not a whole lot of reporting on this. All right, cool.
Look how PBS reports this. A Mexican citizen.
Okay, isn't that what he is?
Everything to hide the fact that he was crossing the border illegally.
Yeah, but why does he deserve to die for crossing the border illegally? I don't understand that.
They just...
Wouldn't that be a problem? Like killing people that are just trying to come here illegally, but like aren't really bad people? I think that's a problem. No, it's not proportionate punishment.
Lie constantly. Nothing these people say is true.
Is he not a Mexican citizen? I'm very confused. What is the lie here? I mean, I think he's trying to argue... hey, not saying that they're an illegal immigrant downplays the negative impact of what he was trying to do. That's fine, but calling it a lie is very low IQ, and lazy. Like, again, you're not explaining yourself. But I think part of it is like, you're like, yeah, he was here illegally. He deserved to die. Is that what your argument is? I don't understand. That might be a decent argument because ICE's reputation is so bad right now because they're not getting trained correctly. That could just fundamentally cause escalation in interactions. Maybe that might be possible. Might be a little bit of a reach, but that's potential. I could think about that.
Silverio Gonzalez was an alcoholic, illegal alien who was likely driving under the influence of cocaine.
Oh, well, likely. It said he did have it in his system. Okay, that's not good.
And was shot in retaliation as he drove his car into a cop who was trying to arrest him.
Damn. Let's see. Hispanic name guy had cocaine in his system when he was shot and killed by a federal immigration agent during a traffic stop in Franklin Park, according to a newly released autopsy report. We're on to a new guy. Sorry, so many Hispanic names. The report shows that the father and a cook, originally from Mexico, was shot close range as allegedly trying to flee immigration, where ICE agents sought to stop his car. September 12th, just days after the Trump administration announced an aggressive deportation campaign. A bullet that pierced the back of his neck traveled through his body and came to rest in his chest. I don't understand. Why does he deserve to get shot? Because he was doing drugs and he was driving and he was here illegally? Does that constitute killing him? What? He was rushed to the hospital where he hooked up breathing tube. Okay. He found dead less than an hour. He was found with an apparent drug paraphernalia in his person. According to medical examiners on a toxicology report, he had cocaine in his okay, and it's metabolites in his system. So he had coke and metabolite. I don't know what the fuck that means, but okay. So he got shot in the back. His autopsy showed that he was suffered from late-stage liver disease, which can be caused by alcohol abuse, hepatitis, and other factors. He also had gallstones, which are commonly found with advanced liver disease. Shooting. I don't understand why he deserved to die. This is the part I'm not understanding. Because he had a drug and alcohol or potentially alcohol problem. Wait, this is crazy. Think before you sleep, put a note here. It's extremely unlikely he has hepatitis unless he is having gay sex or is a heroin abuser. What? This is Chicago Sun trying to pretend that they are telling the truth while adding unlikely information about liver disease to distract from the idea that Silverio was probably an alcoholic and probably had driven numerous times under the influence. What? Why gay? Why do you have to be fucking gay? It feels like metabolized coke in the body. Okay. It feels weird to like, I don't know. It feels dog whistly. Maybe I'm too fucking woke, but like it feels like why does it have to be gay? Also, like there are different types of hepatitis and not all of them are sexual hepatitis. So like I think they mean hepatitis B. Because they said, like, hey, it could be caused by alcohol abuse, hepatitis, or other factors. They're just saying, here's the context. But this guy's like, no, they're lying. But if you look it up, like, there's hepatitis A, fecal oral route, meaning it's transmitted by ingesting food or water that's contaminated with poops. So maybe he had, like, poor hygiene. There's also sexual ones through, like, semen or the vagina. I guess you can't get hepatitis. I don't know why he'd have to be gay. I don't understand that. But okay. Then there's hepatitis C. Blood-to-blood contact. So there's also alcoholic hepatitis caused by heavy and prolonged alcohol use. It's just so interesting. What weird information that you felt the need to add into this video. Like, it's very strange that you felt the need. They just said hepatitis and you're like, oh, gay? Why are you thinking about, why are gay guys on your fucking brain so much? Okay.
And was shot in retaliation as he drove his car into a cop who was trying to arrest him.
They shot him in the back, didn't they? So, shortly after the shooting, DHS reported that an agent was seriously injured when he was dragged a significant distance by his car. Okay, that makes sense. That would be why they shot him then. DHS officials said the agent had opened fire, fearing for his life. But body cam footage first obtained by Chicago Sun-Times shows the federal agent telling local police he was dragged a little bit. Speaking over the radio, his partner relays the agent suffered a left knee injury and some lacerations to the hand. So they're claiming that there was a serious injury, but apparently the body cam footage contests that, saying that the injury wasn't as serious. Okay, and then Think Before You Sleep decides to say that that is bullshit to distract from the fact that he drove his car into the agent. So, okay, I don't understand. Why? Why is this not relevant to you? Why? Like, hey, listen, they said it was super serious. Maybe it wasn't as serious. We don't know. But this is going to, like, if you're going to lie about the severity of it, you could call into question, like, how serious it was. Like, okay, maybe they were justified, maybe they weren't. But why do you instantly say that it's unnecessary information to say that they exaggerated the claims? All he's saying is that he didn't see it, not that it didn't happen. Okay. Investigator with the visit the scene, so the FBI agent who said, okay, gotcha. His Subaru had sustained substantial damage and remained wedged against the underside of a tractor trailer collided with. Okay, I guess it's his car. Okay, got it.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
I guess.
He had no criminal history. 2 paragraphs ago, you said he was driving under the influence.
Okay.
Or heavily implied it.
who said that they had no, like, many of immigrants detained by the feds, he had no criminal history. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not. He didn't have a criminal charges. That's what they're saying. He didn't have criminal charges.
Criminal history. 2 paragraphs ago, you said he was driving under the influence.
That's not a criminal history. You have to know that what you're doing is stupid, right? Like, you know you're being dumb on purpose. You're being obtuse. You can make the argument of like, hey, he didn't get caught, but he still seemed to be a threat because he was drinking and driving or doing drugs and driving. That's fine. Okay, like that's totally fine. Like you can be contextual about that, but like he had no criminal history. He wasn't charged with crimes. That's what they're saying here. It's just weird because here's the flow of information. You know, these people originally, a bunch of like left-leaning people online or very left people online, proposed a bunch of lists of people that ICE killed. Think Before You Sleep isolates them and like talks about them and exaggerates them as much as possible. Like every single, he nitpicks everything like hyper, like, you know, and I admit that some of their examples are not good examples. There are better examples. But everything, like he can't even acknowledge what it means to have a criminal history. Do you understand what I'm saying? He doesn't even acknowledge like, hey, criminal history. He can't even acknowledge that. He doesn't, I don't know if he gets, I don't understand. I don't know if he knows what, I don't know. He might actually think that what he's doing is intelligent. I don't know if this is like intellectual dishonesty or if he's just not comprehending what's happening, like what these words mean.
Or heavily implied it, and you said he had signs of alcoholism and a history of reckless driving, so he probably was regularly driving under the influence.
Sure, but he still doesn't have a criminal history.
And that's not all. It says here that he had just dropped his kids off minutes before the stop.
Well, that's not good.
So you mean to tell me that he got caught with like a crack pipe? I mean, I'm guessing it's something like that, considering that they were vague about what drug-related items he had on him.
Maybe. Yeah, if he had drug paraphernalia, sure. Okay.
So he has hard drugs in his system and gets caught with drug paraphernalia minutes after he dropped his kids off at school.
Yeah, that's definitely inappropriate, sure.
Father of the year, right? I can't imagine.
Well, I don't know how to talk to you because I don't think that means that you deserve to be killed, I guess. I don't know, but okay.
Imagine why anyone would want him deported. Now, believe it or not, it gets worse. In the article, there's an anchor baby congresswoman defending Silverio's actions named Delia Ramirez who said last year in Spanish that she's a Guatemalan before she's an American.
Okay. Interesting. I guess that's not good.
Saying shit like that should get you thrown out of Congress.
Yes.
That's treason.
I don't care. Well, I don't know if it's treason. Maybe I think it's stupid. I don't know if it's treason. I mean, we're a country of immigrants. I've seen Italians and Irish people say similar things. It's okay. Gotcha.
Can you see why my demeanor against these people has gone from more neutral in the past to now more hostile?
No, I don't think that that's true. I know why I will guarantee you it's gotten more hostile. There's probably never a point where it's neutral. This is one of the biggest issues with this guy, and like it really is a detriment to him more than it is a detriment to anybody else. This person is very terminally online. They don't seem to have a particularly robust support structure outside of the internet. They are on Twitter all day, engaging with content all day, like reposting content and replying to things all day, and they think that it's normal, but they have a legitimate addiction to Twitter slop. And they consume it, and they think that that's the way that the world is. They think that that's how the world is, and what's going on. They've chosen a side, and it's anti-SJW. And so even if like an SJW type makes a reasonable point, they will always deny it. That's kind of where we're at. Like you are very terminally online.
Finding out the amount that they knowingly lie when you research their claims will make you hate them. To be clear, I'm not talking about people like Shoe on Head, who tries to accurately report the news.
Yeah, well, Shoe on Head, who overly focuses on criticizing the left while saying she's on the left. Yes, it makes sense that you would like that person when you literally showed like a Shoe on Head Junior earlier on.
From a left-leaning standpoint. When I talk about people like Noah Sampson or Nicole Raffi,
I don't know who the fuck she is. Noah Sampson's cringe. Got it.
I'm saying that their research is so negligent that I can only assume that they're knowingly spreading disinformation for money and social media clout.
Maybe. I will. It is curious that you didn't like decide to dive into Renee Good or the Alex Pretty one. You kind of isolated a couple people who you thought you had a strong point on, and you ignored the rest. I think that that's kind of rough, but okay.
People on the left should consider influencers like this to be traitors who are selling out the reputation and trust in their party for personal gain. And as for the names that were said that I didn't address, maybe don't try to obstruct an arrest, and maybe don't resist being detained with your vehicle while an officer is standing in front of it.
Oh, maybe don't stand in front of the vehicle. I don't know what to tell you. What about Alex Preddy, who was murdered by police officer? Well, I think that was Customs Border Patrol, but he was murdered. What about him?
Death by cop would drop to almost zero. People just stopped resisting arrest and dealt with potential illegal police activity in court.
What do you think about the one girl that was shot? What's that fucking moron's name? In the insurrection, I'm just wondering if you thought she was justifiably shot. What the fuck was that idiot's name? I forget her name.
The amount of lies that these people tell is ridiculous, and when they get caught being malicious or doing outright evil, they'll try to prey on people's sympathy to get out of it. This is why Twitter users are posting...
Dude, what the fuck is up with this? Twitter users, Twitter. How many times do you say Twitter in every fucking, every other sentence that you say, dude? Just 2 videos ago, this guy was talking about how a rapist wasn't really a rapist because the judge was a girl and brown. So I don't really know what to tell you, dude, but...
free run memes to...
Ashley Babbitt, yeah.
...to describe them. It's a pretty accurate metaphor because you'll have, a woman try to trip a cop while he's running at full speed in pursuit, which could have injured him pretty badly if he didn't dodge it. But when they go to arrest her for assault, she says, "Help, I'm a victim."
What does she have to do with anything? What the fuck are you trying to draw a line between her and people on the left?
Help me!
Fortunately, someone caught it on camera.
What?
But the more we make an example out of people who are being abusive and the more we set the record straight when they try to lie, the less we'll have to put up with this category of person in the future.
Got any videos on Trump there, or are you just complaining about randos on Twitter?
I mean, I wouldn't even call them liberals. Actual liberals probably hate these people because they make them look bad. These people can't even be honest about their own base desires, so they have to do all these
based desires or base desires?
These crazy mental gymnastics to justify their life circumstances.
I know that there's a new movement going around in the body acceptance sphere that is called categories.
This isn't real. Why are you quoting whatever rage bait cringe this is?
And what it describes is the different levels of privilege you have based on how fat you are. And so there's things like small fat, mid fat, super fat, and death fat.
This is not real. This person accidentally ate a whole wheat brownie instead of a whole tray of other brownies, and they came up with a privilege chart based on your obesity. This isn't real. Okay, you need to understand something. If you watch this and go, "Oh, this is why I don't like people on the left," just fucking eat literal shit. I don't know what to tell you. If you are a grown fucking adult and you look at stuff like this and you apply this to an entire group, you're a shit-eating baby. It's fine. Make fun of, if you want to make fun of this person, be my guest. I'm not saying don't do that. I need to be very clear. I love bullying is not okay. Okay? I don't care. If you want to make fun of somebody and criticize them for this, that is totally fine. But don't take this and apply this to the representation of all people on the left, like this weirdo is doing. That's the problem. Disproportionate criticism is the biggest problem in all of our media. Okay, that's our problem. It's not that the media lies, it's that the media sensationalizes. Things can't just happen anymore. Things have to be the end of the world. And so it frustrates me when all these people will criticize the mainstream media for sensationalization, and then they will engage in sensationalization. This person, it's funny to make fun of them, that's fine, but don't pretend that this is all people on the fucking left, dude. Holy shit. Jesus Christ.
Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So it's based on your shirt size. Okay. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat.
Okay.
3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane, but someone in a mid fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in and the privilege levels of what fat means to different people.
Didn't Ozempic get rid of these people? I thought this was out of meta. The funny
Ozempic's too expensive, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
thing, though, is that these are the same people who will talk about how we have to get rid of oppressive hierarchies brought on by capitalism, but biologically speaking,
See, I told you, he's applying this to all people on the left. And yeah, we do need to get rid of oppressive hierarchies based on capitalism. Why is this so fucking gay to say capitalism is fucking gay? And by the way, communism is fucking gay too. Extremes of anything are bad, but our system is fucked, bro. If you're not somebody, and I'm not saying be fully against capitalism, but if you're not a capital-ish, it's okay. If you don't feel that way, at least you're a shit eater. and just go eat shit. There's no reason to talk to you anymore. You're a fucking idiot. If you look at the system around right now and you're like, this is working, fucking eat shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're not at the very least criticizing capitalism right now, you should eat actual shit. I don't know how else to say that. There's no way that you live in a system where we pay twice as much for healthcare and go, of every other Western country, and go, this makes sense. What the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about, dude? What the fuck are we talking about? There's no way that we live in this system where you're like, this is kind of working. Where you have billionaires who don't even pay themselves money so they don't have to pay taxes, and then they just take loans out against the bank for low interest rate to inflate their wealth. You think this is working? Our fucking Defense Department doesn't pass. I don't think that they've passed an audit in like a decade. What are you doing? This is working. It's working, guys. You know, we need more capitalism. Let's cut taxes for rich people more. It's working. I don't know.
Humans have an inherent desire to try to rank high on some sort of hierarchy. So in the very next argument, to satisfy their need for status, they'll create their own system where being the most useless person puts you at the top.
I don't know what the fuck that means, dude.
You see, this person is a super fat.
Nobody cares about Tess Holiday, bro. Is that this right, Tess Holiday? Nobody gives a fuck about this person.
Therefore, they have the most points on the oppression hierarchy.
You said privilege, right? Like, so if somebody is less fat, then them being able to get onto an airplane is a privilege, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Then they'll follow these types of arguments up with a classy platitude about how they don't like racism or sexism, while also telling you about how you have to vote for someone because they're black or a woman.
You just ever get bored of what you do? I just wonder that. Like, do you ever get bored of what you do? Do you come online and some guy goes like, oh, I'm acting like a fucking moron? Like, do you ever do that? I couldn't be the person who came online. I was like, guys, this fat person, I say person because I don't know who the fuck knows. Like, that hairstyle, maybe they identify as something else. I don't know. This is everybody on the left. That's what you're doing. It's late. It's boring. What are you doing? You're talking about why people become radicals when we have an administration, MAGA, who still is not criticizing the president for probably raping kids. And the reason I say probably, best friends with the Epstein guy for 15 years, refuses to release the client list, the predator list. I don't know, dude. It sounds like a pretty big defense. Like, you realize that the way that you've gone in your career and your life is defending rapists. You made an entire video saying that a Tectone couldn't have raped a girl because the judge was a brown woman. That's insane, bro. Do you not understand you're insane? That's fucking crazy. What the fuck? But the radicals are people who glue their hands to fucking grocery store cabinets and stand in front of cars and say dumb shit about being fat. Those are the radicals. I don't know. I think that if you don't see that, like, our administration is very radical, you need to eat shit. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? These people will take like such easy low-hanging fruit and refuse to criticize the administration. They built an entire platform. This is the problem. Content creators like this are fucking cowards. They built an entire platform on making a safe space for fucking idiots on the internet. And if they ever criticize anything that's like within their own sphere, they will get fucking toppled. So they don't. They just stay away from criticizing. They don't care about the pedophilia. They don't care about the warmongering. They don't care about all the corruption. They don't care about any of that shit. Because they don't want to lose money. So they just say dumb shit about some fucking fat idiots online. Like they don't, it's meaningless. They will ignore a literal oppressive administration and then go, but have you seen these guys? They're kind of cringe on the left. And like, that's the comparative. That's what all these guys do. It's fucking insane. It's low IQ team sports.
Like this movie trailer does.
Who are you guys voting for?
Oh, Papa. Hillary? She'd be the first woman president.
Whoa.
He'd be the first black president.
Whoa.
The real question,
I don't even know what the fuck that is, and I don't care.
though, is how do we avoid being this cringe? How do we prevent people from being like this outside of letting deserving individuals find out?
Bro, I just wanted you to know you're more cringe than all these people in this video.
Well, I think we can, in part, begin by understanding where these people are coming from and their psychology.
Are you just going to say they have a mental illness, or are you going to try to go like, oh yeah, they're activists that mean well, but they're expressing themselves poorly?
Because as much as they want to pretend that they're nonconformist and not like everybody else and they can go against human biology,
what does that mean?
What's actually going on here is that they're acting out because they have human needs that aren't being met in their regular lives.
Okay.
So to get those needs met, They go to these counterproductive protests and
what needs do you feel like they don't have met? I'm just a little curious about that one.
Act out in these ways because people don't value them or pay attention. They end up finding value by teaming up with other undesirables, and they get people to pay attention to them by screaming or blocking roads. Also, understand that people like this don't make changes to become likable because they have all sorts of limiting beliefs or they think they can change things merely by wishing they were different.
Okay. You're just saying words. Not once did you acknowledge, like, yeah, they want to change this because they think it's bad. It's just like, they're all mentally ill and looking for attention. It's like, okay, got it, great.
I wanted to make a point of the very first thing that was said over here during this prompt is that people that do not go to the gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So far from beyond what I actually live. I work a lot. I put a lot of time and energy into the career that I have. And to think that someone can take a look at me from across the room and say she's lazy because of the way that I look is so sad. I'm mad at that.
Remember how I said that mental illness is about not being able to deal with reality on reality's terms? The reality is that people do assume that you're lazy, and to an extent they're right because you're an addict. A part of being a hard worker is a willingness to spend time learning new information and a willingness to change. And being super obese is evidence that you aren't doing that in a very crucial area.
Bro, it's interesting, like, how terminally online you are, and it's like almost impossible. I think that you're completely cooked. I think that you are addicted to the internet, and like your addiction is worse than any fat person. Here's the thing. First of all, you should go to the gym, and if you want to get into weight training, I'd look into 5x5 strong lifts, right? I think that is a great thing to look into. Mark Ripto, buy the book. But what she's saying is, hey, I work a lot. So I work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and it gets difficult for me to go to have a gym regimen. Valid. Okay? Now, I also understand why you look at somebody who's fat and say, I think that they're lazy. That's valid, too. I understand why you think that. But this is like a very normal thing. When, there's two types of people in the world. People who don't have to really do much work, and people who do have to do a lot of work. And it can be very difficult. I was heavier when I had to work a meaningful, real job. When I was working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, I was eating like shit because I was just working constantly. I was stressed out. And it was just fucking me up, and I didn't have really time for the gym. The problem is that like you have these fucking online, these people online, and they make low effort content. Like me, this person does too, but they make low effort 15-minute videos about how bad the left is, and they go, "Oh, you don't have time for the gym? You're lazy." That person probably works harder than you and me combined because they have to work a real fucking job. They can't sit on Twitter all day and doom scrolling and getting blasted with fucking idiot information. I get it. She's fat. Oh, that's your whole thing. But what she's saying is like, hey, listen, people are more than just one thing, right? She might be a great like daughter. She might be a great like girlfriend or something. She might be great at her job, really productive, but she happens to be fat. And so for you, it's like, oh, you're lazy in your bed. That's the point. Point is that you look at somebody and you're very low IQ and you don't look at beyond like a surface level and you don't listen. You're waiting to respond. You just want to say fat people bad, fat people lazy. Being fat is bad. It's not good for you. But like a lot of people, like a lot of truck drivers are fat. You think that they're lazy people? No. They have a particular lifestyle that kind of evolves around what they're doing. I don't know, dude. Like, just reconsider the way that you interact with the fucking world. You're obviously addicted to the internet. Like, you need to stop.
Personally, I don't consider anyone to be a hard worker until they've maxed out their day to be so full of work that they have to dedicate time to looking for faster ways to do things just so they can have healthy work hours. I mean, it sure as hell is hard work to dig a deep hole with a spoon instead of a shovel.
Okay.
But digging that hole with a spoon doesn't make you a hard worker. It makes you an idiot.
Okay, well, what if they're they're maximizing the technology that they can use to do things as efficiently as possible and still work hard? I don't understand.
And there are a lot of people out there shoveling.
This guy doesn't work a real job. I don't know what to tell you. He's never worked a real job in his life, so he's never going to understand. Stop listening to people like this.
With spoons, overworking themselves and sacrificing time with their family and friends because they don't want to watch a few-minute workflow video on YouTube. The point I'm making here.
Holy fuck, dude. Are we listening to what's happening right now? This is insane. He's this person who doesn't work a real job. This person who's never worked a real meaningful career job, especially, who makes online content, is telling you that if you have to put in a lot of hours at work, it's because you won't watch a YouTube video to make your job easier. I don't know what to say about that. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Have you ever worked a real job before? Yeah, I worked for the IRS for 2 tax seasons. Okay. These people are weird freaks. He used to be a yoga instructor. Okay, hard worker over here, guys. Used to be a fucking yoga teacher. Bro, this guy is the definition of soft hands, dude. Holy fuck. Bro, what the fuck? These people are so fucking gay. This is stupid. Okay, you're cringe. Sorry for using the word gay. Sorry. Holy shit, dude. I don't know if you'd ever be able to break through to these people. Never stop trying, though, but holy fuck.
Here is that the reason that these people become annoying is because no one wants to deal with them in their personal lives. And I think that's due to not knowing a lot of useful information. One of the biggest reasons that...
What do you talk about in your day-to-day life with people? You don't really hang out with anybody. But this is a real question I really want to like propose is like, what do you talk about when you are not online? This is a really good litmus test for you guys. I have like a real life. My wife works a real job. We hang out with like friends and stuff. We were hanging out with people yesterday. I don't usually talk about my content. We talked about it a little bit because they watched some of my stuff. So that was nice. But like for the most part, we talk about other things. I know how to hold a conversation outside of my fucking special interests online. But like really ask yourself this question. Do you think you could, or do you people think that this guy could sit down and have a conversation with you that's not about weird online Twitter politics? I'm going to go with no. I think that you are an insufferable fuck outside of, in your real life. I think that you are a miserable, insufferable fuck that sits on Twitter all day because you can't interact offline. Because you just don't know how. You don't know how to engage with people who don't share your explicit interests. And that is a behavior that comes from not ever having to work a real meaningful job. Right? Because like, if you're forced to work with different people, if you have to kind of figure out what your common ground is. I don't think that you really do shit, dude. I think you're fucking weird. I think that you are a very terminally online person. I think that if anybody tried to have a real conversation with you, not some kind of like debate-ish conversation about politics, like a regular, like, hey, how's your day? I don't think you could answer that question in a meaningful way. I don't think that you know how to have a conversation without like rooting it back to just like like Twitter slop. I think that's where most of your shit comes from, is you just Twitter slop online. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you, bro. Like, you're just fucking weird as shit.
That people do messed up things or evil stuff is because they're useless to...
What is this? We're talking about fucking Frogan again.
...those around them, which makes them a burden, and doing bad things is the only way they can get ahead.
Bro, can we just acknowledge, like, and you're not gonna like this, Frogan is like a more normal person than you are. Frogan is a series of occasional controversies because she doesn't know how to keep herself out of the limelight in a productive way, and then just sitting on stream playing video games and looking at stupid cat videos. Like, that's Frogan. Frogan is a more normal person. You would be able to Frogan, I can almost guarantee you could probably have a normal conversation with Frogan. You could probably go out to like a Starbucks and sit down and talk about something else. It's going to be fucking stupid. It's going to be about nails and glitter or something, but it's going to be a conversation you can have outside of Twitter. You could not do this with Think Before You Sleep. You couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. It's true. It is a fact. I'm telling you, it's a fucking fact. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm giving you hard facts right now, okay? I'm being fucking dead serious.
So if you want to reduce the number of people who are like this, then outside of making the appropriate people find out when it's deserved, the answer is to empower yourself with such good information through hard work, discipline, and research, so that for one...
Wait, what hard work? If you're working hard, you just need to look at a YouTube video up. What are you talking about?
You've taken care of yourself. And so that, too, your presence alone will inspire other people to make themselves better. I mean, also have a family, stick together, and treat your kids well.
Do you have a family? I'm pretty sure you're like 30 and you don't have a long-term girlfriend anymore. You guys broke up. And I'm not trying to shit on you. But again, you're hard-pressed to find people online who talk like this that have wives. All these people are 30 years old and they don't have like a long-term relationship, or they're not married and they're not trying to have kids. Every single one of them is like 30 years old. They don't, and I'm gonna be fucking so real with you. This is gonna sound so conservative. If you're 30 and you've never been in like a long-term, like if you just got out of a long-term relationship, I get it. But if you're 30 and you're not in a long-term relationship, you're unfuckable and you're like undateable. Like you're a weirdo. You are the problem. You don't know how to be with somebody. You don't know how to compromise. You don't know yourself well enough to be able to find somebody that you're compatible with and then work from there to build a productive relationship. You are the problem. So I'm sorry if I'm hitting anybody hard. And maybe you know that you're the problem. That's okay. It's okay. If you're like, listen, I'm 40, I'm a cat lady, I'm comfortable, I don't like people, that's okay. That's totally fine. You're aware of yourself. But this guy, you can't be a 30-year-old single guy that's like, you need to really prioritize hard work in your family. By the way, I make YouTube videos. I scroll through Twitter and make YouTube videos. Like, you don't have You're not building a family, and you don't work hard. Just don't tell me about that. And by the way, I don't work hard either. Just to be clear. But I used to, so I know what it's like. Okay? I'm married. All right? We're working on having a kid. We're going to repopulate the world with little white babies. I hope that they're white. I don't know the problem with black people, but if that kid comes out black, there's going to be a fucking problem. Or any other color. And if the baby doesn't come out fat, I'll also have a problem because it means it's not my baby, guys. Don't get racist, okay? I'm sorry. All right, guys. So, anyway, let's move on.
That'll help. However, if being outstanding by itself doesn't automatically inspire people, then at least you'll have incredibly specific and effective advice so that when the time does come, you can enlighten people and snap them out of their shitty ideals by getting them to believe that they can make their lives better. Really, people just need to believe that they can make their situation better, and then you won't have to say that much because they'll do all the investigation themselves to the extent that their focus becomes self-improvement and giving back to others instead of focusing on some dumb protest at Trader Joe's.
I generally agree with the idea that you should try to focus on bettering yourself, because if you put more work in, you will always be able to better yourself. I think that's a fact. To what degree is debatable. You know, you might work twice as hard for 10% increase, but I think you should still try to do it. And I think this guy's cringe, but I don't know, man. He's protesting for something he believes in. At least he's outside. Unlike you, man. I don't know.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Let me tell you another issue. If you only are trying to develop a Twitter audience, terminally online. Terminally online. Because you only want one specific type of very terminally online audience, but okay.